Hey everybody, this is Chris with Overclockersclub. Got something really cool from Corsair here. These are the QL120 RGB fans. They're brand new, just out. It's actually a kit. You get 3 fans and 1 lighting node core. Corsair has a couple of different lighting node controllers, but this is the lighting node core. So let's get all this stuff out of the box and see what it looks like. Alright, so we'll get the box open here. And at the top, there's that box, and then inside, there are the 3 fans. And looking at the details there, the rated amperage is 0.3, and then the airflow, which is usually what most people are interested in, is almost 42 CFM at full speed. And the maximum RPM is 1500. And looking at the fans in a little more detail here, well, it's got a little bit of weight to it, more than what I was expecting. It is a 4-pin PWM type of fan, so you get a 4-pin connector there, and then there's the RGB connector there, and this is made to go specifically with the hub here, which we'll see in a moment. But it looks like we've got RGB lighting on both sides of the fan there. The plastic is sort of translucent. It's not really clear. It's just sort of white, but my guess is when we get them powered up, you won't really notice that at all, because the LED light that shines through that gets transferred through the plastic. You won't really notice that it is not clear. Now, looking at the fans up close, a little more closely I should say, you have these 4 rubber isolators at each corner that keep vibration and noise from being transferred to your fan case. And you can see the way the frame sort of tapers down to allow the maximum amount of the light ring here to be visible. And the other thing I'll show you here is I popped one of the rings off. Now, I wouldn't do that normally, but this is just to show you inside. There are 34 LEDs total in this fan. You can see how they're sort of around the outer perimeter there, as well as inside the fan here. But there are LEDs basically on both sides, and I won't pop this ring off, but there are basically 2 rows of them. And also on the fan there is like a machined aluminum logo on both sides, a little Corsair logo there on a thin piece of metal, and there's a little plastic cover there that you can peel off, a little protective cover. Now, these are the 120 millimeter fans. These do come in a 140 millimeter flavor. The only difference, other than the fact that the 140 millimeter is larger, the fan speed is a little different. These max out at 1500 RPMs, and the 140 millimeter version maxes out at, I believe, 1250, so they're just slightly slower, although they are rated at closer to 50 CFMs, so they're about 8 or 9 CFMs higher than the 120 millimeter version. Now, this is the lighting node core here inside this box. I'll struggle to get the tape off of there. There are some mounting screws there. But this is the lighting node core, and it has a USB connector. So this will connect to one of your USB hubs in your motherboard, on your motherboard, so that you can get the signal through the software back and forth to the node. And then there's, of course, just a regular SATA power connector. Now, looking at the lighting node core here in a little more detail, the back side, there's nothing going on. In fact, that's why they give you this double-sided tape. So if you want to peel the backing off there, stick that on there, and you can stick that in your case somewhere. Or not if you don't want to. But anyway, you've got 3 channels on one side and 3 on the other. And the 3 included fans in this kit would, of course, go into one side, probably 1, 2, 3. And if you buy any more fans, then you can use these other 3. So you can control a total of 6. And another thing to remember, the lighting node core here, it can only control one type of fan. So even though you have 6 channels, they all have to be the same type of fan. So for example, I have ML120s in here. If I attach any more fans, they need to be ML120s or you will not be able to really control them properly. Now the lighting node Pro and the Commander Pro, they both have 2 separate lighting channels, so you can run 2 different types of fans on those, but that is not the case with this one. So I don't have this really installed in the case, it's just sort of flopping around here. But you notice the numbers on there, there's actually a method to the madness there. You see there's 1, 2, 3 on the right, and then 4, 5, 6 on the left. And this is the 275R gaming case from Corsair. Now it normally comes with these 3 120 millimeter fans, which are not RGB. But just to show off the QL120s, I went ahead and put them in this case, and you can see they really put on quite a light show. Really bring the case to life. Now, the other thing to talk about is the IQ software. So this is sort of what happens if you don't have the right version of the software. The QL fans are not available and you get some weird lighting behavior going on. So after you get the right version downloaded and installed, then you can select the proper fan and then get them set up. When you click on that, you can see you can get to the firmware for each piece of hardware that's connected, and then you can come down here and see the version of the software you're using. This is the correct version, or later, whichever time you're watching this video. And when you get the right version of the software updated, the QL fans become available, and you can go into the lighting setup and start to assign the different lighting profiles. And after you get the IQ software downloaded and fired up, it searches to see what hardware is connected, and it found the lighting node core, which comes with the QL120 3-fan kit, and then it also found the H100i Pro that I have installed. Now I will refer to this little icon here in the center. Actually, you can click anywhere in here. But you click and it brings you to this YouTube page that Corsair has set up, and it walks you through all these little tutorials on how to set up IQ and how to get the most out of it. But back to the IQ software here. So if you click on your H100i Pro, you can see where you can get into the lighting profiles here. You can change the fan speed, pump speed, and the color sequencing there on the pump body. But the lighting node core here is really where everything is. So you can go into the lighting setup here off to the upper left. And this is where you select the type of fans you have, the series. These are the QL fans here. And then the number of fans, which I only have 3 connected. I can go all the way up to 6. And then you go to the lighting channel. And this is where you can select all the different color profiles and make all your customizations. They do have 2 new ones here, one called Gate and one called Ping down there. So I will hit the Gate, and then there's the graphical representation of what's going on, and then you can come in and see what's happening. So that is Gate, and then Ping. I'll switch to that. So that's a different lighting effect also. Now this here on the left, this dark case, this is the 465X RGB that I've already reviewed, so you can check that out on the Overclockersclub channel. But what I did is I sort of cheated. I went ahead and plugged in the controller, which is right here, and it's actually the same lighting node core, it just doesn't have a top cover. It's included with this case, so when you buy the 465X, you get that RGB controller, the lighting node core. So what I did was I took the USB lead from it and the power and just fed it in to my 275R case. And as you can see, all the fans are the same color because we have both nodes now that are recognized. And if I come over here and just do the instant lighting, if I want to change the colors, it changes all of the colors at the same time. So again, here they are, all sort of linked together. And that just shows you that you can run more than one lighting node core on a system. The other cool thing is you can actually go in and change the color and the behavior of each individual LED light. And while I'm here, something else that's kind of neat is you can go up here to the upper left there where the dashboard is. You click on that and you have the ability to sort of do a real quick monitor of all these different parameters here, from your memory to your motherboard, your cooler, your graphics card. Really nice. Alright, so I dimmed the lights here and now you can really see. This mode is called Visor. I'll back up and get all the fans there because we're actually doing that on all 6 fans. So you kind of get an idea of that effect. Now, fan noise is not bad. I have all 3 of them cranked up to the maximum of about 1500 RPMs, and they're not bad at all. I've got the top filter panel removed, but I'll just go ahead and see if I can get the camera right in there. And you can definitely feel the air moving coming out the top there, but when you stand back, can I hear them? Sure, but they're not loud or annoying at all. So the last thing to talk about here is pricing. Right now, this fan kit that comes with the controller and 3 fans is $139. And if you're going to buy a single fan, it's about $45. So you multiply that by 3, and you're pretty much getting the controller for free on the 120 millimeter kit. And the QL140, the single fan there, is $49, call it $50. And then it only comes in a double fan kit or a dual fan kit, and that is $119. So you can pretty much call that $120 for that. And it does come with the lighting node core in the dual kit for the 140 millimeter fan. And again, you're getting fans that have 34 LEDs in each fan here. So you got 12 in this ring here on one face, and on the back face there are another 12. So that's 24. Then you get 6 that are in the center of the hub, and then there are another 4 on the back side center part of the hub there for a total of 34. So if you're really into LED fans and LED systems, then you can't go wrong with this kit from Corsair. So this is Chris from Overclockersclub. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as best I can. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.